4 medical opinions were in the record. The board found every one of them inadequate. But the veteran did not receive a grant. The issue was sent back for a new examination and opinion. That difference matters. A medical opinion can be unfavorable without being legally inadequate, and an inadequate opinion can trigger more development without proving the claim. This is the VA claim file from Claim Raven. We are going to open decision A25001197. Identify the exact defects the board found and build a 4-part examination audit you can use on your own records. One important limit. This board decision is non-precedential. It binds only the case decided. It does not establish that a similar defect will produce the same result in another case. And this is not a diagnosis or an opinion about whether any veteran should receive service connection.
Start with what an adequate report is supposed to do. Under 38 CFR Section 4.2, an examination report must contain sufficient detail. If a diagnosis is not supported by the findings, or the report lacks enough detail for evaluation, the rating board must return it as inadequate. Under 38 CFR Section 3.159, VA must obtain a medical examination or opinion in a disability compensation claim when the regulatory requirements are met. Those rules do not mean every negative opinion is defective. The useful question is whether the report answered the medical question VA needed decided, using the right facts, relevant evidence, and an explained chain of reasoning. Now look at decision A25001197, decided January 7th, 2025. The issue involved toxic thyroid enlargement, hyperthyroidism, and irritable bowel syndrome. The veteran asserted that the conditions were related to toxic exposures during service. The board reviewed the medical opinions and concluded that all of the nexus opinions were inadequate for adjudication. The reasons were specific. First, one opinion used the wrong service date. That is not a cosmetic mistake if the date changes which exposure period or medical history the examiner is evaluating. Second, an opinion did not address delayed onset or whether the exposure could have contributed to the conditions instead of acting as the sole cause. That left part of the medical question unanswered. Third, one examiner assumed exposures that were not established by the record. An opinion cannot repair a factual gap by silently inventing the missing input. Fourth, one opinion cited a law firm website instead of identifying and discussing the actual scientific studies relevant to the medical reasoning. A link is not automatically a rationale. The important question is what evidence the source contains, how reliable it is for the point being made, and how it connects to the facts in the file. Fifth, later opinions reached contradictory conclusions without reconciling the conflict. And sixth, one opinion did not address every diagnosed thyroid condition or every documented exposure type. The report looked complete at a glance, but the medical question had more parts than the opinion answered. The board did not choose the veteran's preferred medical conclusion and call the case finished. It ordered a new toxic exposure examination and medical opinion. The examiner was directed to consider the veteran's total potential exposure, the combined effect of toxic exposure activities, lay statements, medical literature, every relevant diagnosis, and the conflicting evidence already in the file. The new opinion also had to provide a supporting rationale. Under 38 CFR Section 20.802, the board may remand an issue to correct a qualifying pre-decisional duty to assist error. The agency must correct the error, re-adjudicate the issue, and provide notice of the new decision. That is what the remand changes. It creates a required next step. It does not replace the missing medical answer with a grant. So keep two questions separate. Was the opinion adequate for decision-making? And does the full record prove the benefit? Those questions can overlap, but they are not the same. Calling an opinion bad because you disagree with the conclusion does not identify an adequacy defect. And identifying a defect does not tell you what a corrected opinion will say. Here's the 4-column examination map. Column 1 is the question VA asked. Copy the exact condition, theory, and medical question from the examination request, decision, or remand instruction.
Do not reduce a multi-part question to a general word like nexus. Column 2 is the factual input. List the service dates, diagnoses, exposures, symptoms, treatment history, and other facts the examiner actually used. Mark any factual conflict with a page or document reference. Column 3 is the evidence and theories addressed. Did the examiner discuss the relevant lay statements? Did the report address direct causation, delayed onset, contributory cause, aggravation, or another theory that was actually raised? Did it cover every relevant diagnosis and exposure pathway? Column 4 is the reasoning. Trace how the report moved from facts and medical evidence to its conclusion. A conclusion without an explanation is not the same as a reasoned medical opinion. Then compare the 4 columns. A wrong date belongs in column 2. A skipped theory belongs in column 3. A contradiction or unexplained leap belongs in column 4. An unanswered sub-question belongs in column 1. This keeps the review tied to the record. It also prevents the audit from turning into your own medical diagnosis or substitute opinion. Claim Raven can organize the examination request, report, diagnoses, evidence, and citations into that 4-column comparison. It cannot decide that an examination is legally inadequate, choose a review lane, diagnose a condition, write a medical opinion, or predict the result after remand. The bottom line is simple. A bad result and a bad examination are not the same thing. In decision A25001197, the board identified wrong facts, missing theories, unsupported assumptions, incomplete diagnoses, contradictions, and missing reasoning. It ordered a new opinion. It did not grant service connection. So if an examination looks wrong, identify the exact medical question, verify the facts used, mark the evidence and theories addressed, and trace the reasoning to the conclusion. Challenge the missing link, not merely the result you dislike. If you want more official VA decisions explained this way, subscribe to Claim Raven. The current regulations and complete board decision are linked below.